Bah, I've been saying that I will talk about rape on this podcast. And I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of things to say about rape, feminism, patriarchy, and just aside from all those words, just the state of the world we live in. And honestly, I know the reason why I've been holding back on talking about it is because I don't want to go on a rant. Because if I go on a rant, hey God, it will be filled with so much anger and emotion. And I know I should be angry, but I think what I want to communicate is beyond anger. I want to have a very logical conversation for us to understand how grave this thing is, especially for men, for the men that listen to this podcast, and for the women that is kind of like trying to grasp what is happening or why conversations like this is important. For the longest time, I've always questioned why women were treated like second-class citizens. Like, the only thing that we mattered for were our household skills and our womb. Aside from that, there was nothing worthy about you as a woman. If you're not married, you're less of a woman. If you can't bear children, you're less of a woman. If you can't cook or clean, you're less of a woman. I've always wondered about that. And why was a woman seen as weak in the society? Why? I was talking to my housemate and I was like, where did this thing even start from? Like, what exactly did a woman do that made it feel okay to want to strip her away of her humanity and of her basic rights? That made it feel like women were properties that should be hunted for, that should be conquested, the word I'm looking for. Just like how we all strive to get landed properties. It seems like that's how society strives to land a woman, to cage the woman, and to subdue her to rules and regulations, ignoring her desires, ignoring what exactly she wants to do in the world. That a woman's body has become the object for entertainment, an object to be toyed with, to be played with. There are a lot of aspects of this that I want to talk about. And honestly, I need to stop saying, oh, I will talk about it very soon. I'll calm down and talk about it. Maybe I should just talk and just like list down what exactly I want to list down and come articulate and prepared. Why do you feel the need to continue to touch a woman that has told you no? A woman that has said, stop touching me, but no, you want to keep touching the person until that woman turns to you, stare you in the face and yell. She becomes the angry black woman. She becomes a immoral. She becomes less of a woman because she's not feminine. She becomes aggressive. She becomes arrogant. She becomes, why do you feel so important? You see, sexual violence is a thing. And the earlier we decide to address it, we decide to find the root cause of it and take it away from the society, the better for us. Instead of doing this back and forth, oh, not all men, not all women. What is the stupid semantics for? What is the stupid language or distinction for? There is a crime on ground. Why? Why is it that this particular sect of people are always the one caught doing the exact same thing? Why is it us? Why? That's the question. What can we do to eradicate this thing? That is the main thing. Because, I saw somebody's post about politicians. I've actually held the same sentiment. Like, whenever we say, oh, politics is a dirty game, politicians are liars, I'm like, but that's a lie. Politics is not a dirty game. People chose to make it dirty. I promise you, if people enter into politics wanting to do the right thing for the good of everybody, politics will refuse to be a dirty game. What is the state we are in? We're in the state of its dirtiness. It's a stereotype that should be taken away. There's a reason why it is a stereotype. There's a reason why people say politics is a dirty game and politicians are liars. Guess what? At least 1 in 3 politicians are liars. And they always show themselves. They always show themselves. So you have left us thinking that politicians, everyone, is a liar. So do you come out to say, oh, not all politicians, it's just some politicians? No. Yes, you feel attacked. You feel like, but I'm a good person now. I'm different. Do you know what you would do? You shun the other people that are doing the bad thing. You hold them accountable. You don't follow them around because what if it doesn't favor you? You know the truth. Stand for the truth. Right? You know what they're doing is bad. Stand for your truth. You don't go around defecting because, what if this other one favors me? The reason why you are silent is because you're complicit. If it was not in your nature, you would call them out. The semantics will not be your problem. Your problem is, this is wrong. This is a problem. I can remember when paternity fraud was a thing. And they were saying, all women are this, women are this, women are this. And honestly, I felt attacked. Because as a woman, as a man, when your identity is attacked, you feel bad. But then I had conversations with my girls. Because I run to women-centric show at Invicta. We hold ourselves accountable. We literally say on air, like, women, don't do this. Don't dress indecently. Don't dress like this. Right? Find the appropriate clothes for the particular event. You can't wear the clothes you used to go to club for something professional. It's not a policing of wardrobe. It's just like human instincts, like basic human instincts. Wear your club clothes to the club, to your party. Nobody's holding you. We legit call women out. We also stand for women. We also speak up for women. But I think we say it. But you see, if honestly the semantics is what your problem is, then we have a really big problem in our hands. Because how often can a victim continue to find ways to protect themselves if the perpetrator, if the criminal is given leeway to behave anyhow? If the criminal knows that there is no punishment for them, how do we continue to tell women to stay inside? Don't come out at so time. Don't wear these clothes. Don't be like this. I compare it to kidnapping. Nigeria is a free country. Anybody should travel anytime they want. Morning, afternoon, night. So if I travel in the morning and I am being kidnapped, do you know how insane it sounds for someone to say, oh, you shouldn't have traveled. You should have stayed at home. Do you know how insane that thing sounds? Because it makes no absolute sense. It's a free word. It ought to be a free word. It is meant to be a free word where people have freedom to speech, freedom to move, freedom. God has given us free will. But you're going to tie a person down because another person that was created by God can't control themselves, has a certain level of monstrosity, which I basically have too. Because what are we saying? Do you think that if women were not given the freedom to do, they will not do? Human beings are not perfect. We have the good and the bad. But I was telling someone the other day, the thing that makes a person good or a better human being is when they see that, I'm having evil thoughts, and they know to choose the right way. They have self-control. We all have monsters in each of us, but self-development will teach you to be better. So because another human cannot control or has been given the freedom to sow their oats widely, that is why I freaking hate that thing of, girls should be virgins, but boys, we don't care. Who do you expect them to be having sex with? Answer me, yo. Who do you expect them to be having sex with? Throw out the freaking manual. Rip it, throw it out the window. If you're telling girls to be virgins, tell the boys to be virgins too. Tell them sexual purity. Teach them sexual control, because what? Teach them that a girl's body is not theirs to conquer. It is her body. It annoys me so much because I've encountered men from my radio station, like they'll call. So what happens is a lot of guys listen to the women's program, a lot of women listen to the men's program, and I can understand why that is a thing. And these men, some of them will call in and just say like things about women, and of course I'll shun them because you cannot be saying that kind of rubbish. What are you saying? A woman's life must be tied. It's just like when women are doing things, it's just like, make we just chukayan. Everything about a woman must be policed. That is a problem. A big problem. And I'm so happy about the reaction to the Ozoro Festival thing, because it just like validated what I've been saying for years. Men need to start holding themselves accountable. And the thing that unveiled that thing to me was my work. So I am like the host of For the Sisters, the Victorious Woman. We talk about women. We talk about the issues of women. We hold ourselves accountable. If we see that a woman is not doing the right thing, like she's not doing what is appropriate, kind of like, caution. Why would the mother-in-law be treating her daughter-in-law badly? Why would, all those kind of things. Because we women, we're not also perfect. But we hold ourselves accountable. But you see men, hey, God, their show is also about women, because it's like, what does women bring to the table? Why do men cheat? But that's not the conversation to be having. I've even suggested like a lot of things, like have conversations about how can we train the male child. What does the male child need in the modern world? What makes a man masculine? How can we, upgrade our emotional health? Why is it that women do not feel safe with the same sect of people they say are meant to be their protectors? How can we protect women? How can we create a safe space for everybody to live? Because you see, a lot of the violence happening in the world is orchestrated by a man. So how can we eradicate that? What kind of hobbies can we pick up that is aside from, talking about women and watching football and playing PS? Like, what other hobby can we hone to become better human beings? How can we build our characters? How can we build an identity that is not only focused on money alone, but character too? Because right now, before, for women, it was, build your character, any man will marry you. But now women are doing both. They're building their character, they're building their finances up. I used to throw women on my show. Better rise up. You are looking for Odogu. Better find your own money and be your Odogu rest. Because what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for a man on? Of course, you get married if you want to. But realize that man's money is not the reason why you should be getting married to him. You look for something deeper. His character, his personality, his identity, who he is. And if he wants to use money to woo you, tell him, bruh, all these things you're trying to woo me with, I can afford it. I have it. So show me something else. And the reason why this men cannot have this conversation is because it's not something they have experienced. It's not something they see worthy of talking about. because it makes them a simp, it emasculates them, it is nothing to them. Because for the first time ever, you're having like an important conversation. You can't talk about what you don't know. You can't talk about what you haven't decided to go on a journey on. The reason why I can have these conversations with my girls on the show is because we are all in the self-development process, and the person listening to us might not have that. So we are like a channel for them to understand that there are women who are trying to up their game, who are trying to make impact in the world, who are trying to do something valuable in the world that is beyond household chores and marriage. Of course, if being a housewife is your thing, go. That's what feminism is. But for that young girl that has felt like she needs to do more, there is more to her, we're creating a standard for her, allowing her build her character and letting her know also that her life was not made for a man, that God created her independently to do good work in the world. Men cannot talk about something they haven't taken the journey on. I mean, of course, there are men that would have taken those journeys. Of course, I am friends with them. I meet them. I'm just saying that generally, why men's conference, why these conversations cannot be had on a larger scale is that men cannot still fathom why that conversation is important, why it should be had. No, you're not a simp. You're not. They say, you want to now come and start doing like a woman. So us women, what we're doing is weakness. What we're doing is rubbish. It's a lot. Rape is a crime. Rape is a crime. Assault is a crime. Harassment is a crime. And oh my God, I just wish that our justice system was working. But I just beg you, please. I beg you with everything in my heart. Let's fight this crime. Let's fight it. It's not a competition on wars. Let's fight the crime. If as a human being, you hear somebody making a sexist joke, you hear somebody trying to molest someone, as the good person that you are, stand up to that thing. There is nothing funny about it. About ripping another person of their dignity. There is nothing funny, entertaining, masculine about it. It makes you an idiot. It makes you less of a human being. It strips your humanity away from you. It makes you a monster. If you think pleasure is gotten by force, by forcing yourself, it's another human being. You need to check yourself. You need to.